Hi and welcome to the show. I'm Leo Stakos. I got to tell you guys, I cannot believe it's been 20 years since I started Fish TV. What an incredible ride. The people that I've met, the things that we've done, the fish that we've caught, it's been absolutely incredible. In fact, so much that we can't cover it on one show. So this is going to be a two-part, 20-year experience best of show. We're going to go through everything from the beginning to the end and everything in between. It's going to be a fantastic show. Stick around.
Toyota Quality Service presents Fish TV. Bring your Toyota home. Brought to you by Rapala, crafted from experience. Go RVing Canada. Bring back wildhood. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter. And Highliner. With your hosts, Leo Stakos, Ron James, and Jeff Chisholm.
Hi folks, I'm Ron James from Fish TV. You know, it's hard to believe Fish TV's been on the air for 20 years.
So I called Leo for about a year. But finally, Leo interviewed me and I went to see him at his house.
I remember watching Fish TV and the guys were a little younger then and I might have still been in diapers.
He started BSing, and he just kept laying it on and it got thicker and thicker. And finally when I turned around I said, "That's a lot of crap." He looked at me and said, "You're hired."
I don't know anything about starting a fishing show, but what I do know is I had the passion for it. And that's what drove me to say, I'm going to start a fishing show and we're going to go right across the country with it. And it's been 20 years later. I started fishing with Steve from a young age. We started fishing the rivers, we started fishing tournaments together, we learned off each other. And when we shot our first pilot, we literally went out there and we filmed for 16 hours straight, not knowing how to put a show together. It was just about the joy of fishing, the camaraderie with each other, and trying to catch a fish.
I got started by my father. My father took me fishing when I was a youngster and it just carried on from there, you know. It was a passion of mine to fish for a living and I never gave up. And then I met Leo and it just took off from there, and it's been a blessing, you know, this whole career of mine. I can't believe it's gone this far and I'm pretty excited to share it with you.
It was one of those moments where we thought, wow, this is really cool, and I'd like to keep doing this for a long time.
But I remember one thing, the guys always had so much fun on the water, and I never actually realized that there would be a day one day when I'd actually get to join them.
We're a family, and that's what's most important, and we're a family trying to sell a lifestyle of the outdoors.
Great
and
job.
like all families do, you fight, you kiss and make up, and you keep rolling on.
There we go, bud. Look at us. 2 points. So crazy. Some of the big fish I've caught, 900-pound tuna down in PEI, you know, a marlin down in Mexico when you get triple headers, and you never forget stuff like that. It's just insane. The bloopers are probably the key for me.
Hey, that's my jacket you're wearing.
That's right.
Oh,
He's from real.
well, it's not that easy. If you caught that one there.
Love you.
How'd that taste?
Oh, you know what? Tastes like crappie.
Hi, and welcome to Fish TV. I'm Leo Stakos, and he's Ron James.
Look at that. Are you kidding me? Oh, get over here. Get over here. Ah! There it is.
What are you doing?
He just swam out of the cradle. You're holding it.
There you go. I'm gonna get him one of these seconds, folks. Hold on.
Look at this thing.
Man,
It's a small version of me. Look at that head on it. Look at the gut. It's insane.
crazy.
Portions of Fish TV are brought to you by Mercury.
We have the luxury of been filming all over the world, and that's what makes this job so exciting. But Venezuela, that was probably my scariest trip. After fishing for peacock bass, we decided we got to go try for this fish called the payara. Payara looks like a saber-toothed tiger in the water.
I gotta get this fish in, man. Did you see the size of it?
Look at the teeth on this fish, guys. Whew! Is that beautiful or what? And I gotta tell you, there's the result right there.
This is unbelievable.
Don't put your hand there, buddy. You might bite you.
That's all right. I'll bite him back.
Fishing in Cabo was a total experience. We get there, and within 5 minutes, we had a triple header on. And it was the most incredible thing in the world, watching these fish leap 10 feet in the air.
We got 12 marlin in 4 hours, and we actually got a triple header.
Can't believe we were debating who was going to get the first fish. We're starting with a triple header.
This is insane. The big old got one on, Ron got one on.
Oh, you're kidding me. I have never seen fishing like this in my life.
Oh yeah! Look at this guy go, look at mine go! He is dancing like crazy. Guys, look at this, it's right on top here, look at this. He's just skimming the top, look at this.
Oh, look at the size of that. What a sweet looking fish.
I think mine's bigger, buddy. Oh, mine's on the top as well.
I am soaked. Look at this.
Nice fish.
Look at this.
2 down, 1 to go.
Oh, gracias. There he goes.
Oh!
At one point, I decided to put one leg over the side of the boat and stand partially on the swimming platform, which is possibly not a great idea when you have striped marlin with these huge swords.
Oh, man, look at this thing. It's not giving up.
No, don't do that again.
Look at this. This is insane.
The end result was I ended up with an award for best saltwater footage. And to this day I say, if I was experienced saltwater man, that never would have happened. And sometimes being naive can lead to good things.
You know, everybody dreams to go to the Amazon and fish for peacocks or any fish for that matter. I recall when we first got there, we went out just pre-scouting and I spotted this fish and it had to have been 20, 24 pounds, 25 pounds. And I looked and I seen it going, and then I went to cast and Nick made the cast first and caught the fish. I weighed like 24 and a half pounds. And then a couple hours later, I got another one. Oh no. Come on. Oh, get him, Leo. Get him in here. We got him.
Look at the size of this thing.
Oh, my. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this, folks. Now, this is an Amazon peacock.
28 pounds, buddy. Go
Oh, he's not 28. He's 23 or 4, isn't he? 24 even.
Everyone was in the 20-pound club except for Leo.
Leo, it took him 4 days to get a 20-pounder, but he did finally get one, and I'll never forget it. The first one he got, he broke the rod, hit him in the head, and he stopped reeling, and I helped him carry it in. You gotta have a look at this. This is unreal. Keep reeling. What are you doing? Don't pull like that. Reel.
Hey, he's right there.
Hang on. That's your 20, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Juan reached in, pulled out the tree, roots and all with the fish in it, and put it on the deck.
Look at this. Whoa. Busted rods.
Oh,
Bud.
I got a 20! I had to force it out of there. Like, I had to. Like, he was digging. Ron, if you think that I was going to let that fish go.
Oh, I know.
Right there, folks. Amazon Santana. Hog Hunter, baby, right there.
If you've never fished in the Amazon River before, you wake up every morning, it's a whole new world.
Those shows from Mexico, why are they special to you?
Every morning there was nothing better than watching that sun creep up over the mountains and just light up the whole lake. Coupled with the fact that it was the most incredible bass fishing I've ever done in my life. The very first time we went there, we must have caught 150 bass a day each. It got to the point where we didn't want to reach down, our fingers were so raw from grabbing these fish, we just tried to shake it off at the side of the boat. It was the most incredible kind of bass fishing I've ever seen, more competitive bass in there than any lake I've ever seen, and the action was non-stop.
That's a good fish. Come down to Aztec Lakes. This is what you'll catch all morning long. This is about the 10th or 12th one this size.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I got it. 2. Oh,
I'm not very happy with you.
no. Look at how fat this one is.
I thought my lure was running a little funny. It's full of water. Last fish punctured a hole in it, filled it up. Need a new one.
You know, we've had a lot of guests on the show, and Owen was a kind of a co-host for a couple of years, and he's a pretty funny guy, you know. With Leo and myself, he kept playing jokes on us. You got to break up the day, you know. Some days you go out there and you don't get them right away, and you got to work hard, and you got to catch fish. For him to do these funny jokes, it just broke up the day, and it made a whole great experience. Have a look at some of these funny things.
A lot higher than the actual bait's moving, but because I'm leaving a slack line,
I got these new polarized glasses on. They work great. They strain the eyes a little bit, but I'll tell you what, you can see everything.
I gotta tell you, Nick Antropoff, what a gentleman. On or off the ice, just a real great guy. I actually first met Nick at the Bell Celebrity Gala. We were raising money for charity. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I love your show. I just wanted to meet you, and I love fishing. I'd love to get out there fishing with you one time." So we did. We went out there, we started filming a show. We had a great time.
Yeah, Nick Antropoff, you know, he's done quite a few shows with us. Great guy, and one heck of a fisherman, I'll tell you. Look at his belly. He just ate something like a
Yeah,
fish.
he is, yeah. Like Nick's twitch bait. All right. I can't believe, you can't make me laugh when I'm trying to net a fish.
When that guy gets on the boat, he's after that same fish way harder than you are.
And then I look at my lure.
Look at the size of it.
Where are you going?
What are you doing?
It's playing him.
Really like that a lot.
I like it a
I like it a lot.
Nice fish. Holy man.
This fish just knocked him down.
I see the
sick.
size of it.
Oh,
You
look
guys
at
are
how
insane,
fat it
man.
is.
Right underneath the boat.
That's
Look
a
how
nice
fat
fish.
is this, man.
Oh, look at the size of it.
Oh, yeah. Don't point at me.
Nice one, bud. Right by the boat again. Are they ever healthy looking, like big?
Man,
That fish knocked him down.
took me, literally took me.
Man, they are nice and healthy looking pike.
Just goes to show you, it's fishing, it's not catching.
Look at that, buddy. I gotta tell you, folks, we caught a lot of fish today.
Well, I had this lure that was working incredibly well. I couldn't get bit, Leo couldn't get bit, and he was just smashing them. And he kept making fun of me all day. And I said, give me that lure, give me that lure. Well, he never did. But what he did do was he signed the lure and then he gave it to the guide.
Look at the size of this one.
It's barely
Oh man, Ron's gonna throw us out of the boat.
Oh yeah. That's gonna happen.
There we go. Right at the side of the mouth, and in you go. All
right.
There you go, fella.
This lure was incredible, and I finally got it off Johnny, and I got some fish off it. You're never gonna guess what. See that right there? Nick Anterpoff. The last time we were up here, he whacked the pike on this lure, and he signed it, autographed it for our guide. And I pretty well had to ask Johnny to give up everything. I had to sell my house and my kids.
That's for my people in Canada.
We were pike fishing, and I'll never forget this either. I caught a pike that was what they call a silver pike. What'd they call it? A mutant. I mean, this thing was about 15 pounds, and they're very, very rare. And I'll never forget this. This was on my birthday, and it was quite the birthday present. It was about a 15-pound pike, and it was absolutely silver. It had no colors to it, and there's very few of them. You got to have a look at this fish. It's an incredible fish. This is a fence post, bud.
Did he hammer you?
Oh, big fish. Look at the size of this thing, buddy. Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Oh, what a cow.
Happy birthday to you. Look at the spots on him.
Oh, look at that.
He's on one little hook, buddy. He's on one little hook.
I know.
Oh no.
Don't lose him. Don't lose him.
Just watch you don't fling that right in my eye.
I know. Look at the head on this thing. Oh, look at that mouth on that. Oh, look at the head on it. Well, it's a birthday present for the Jameser is what it is.
Oh no, look at that one little hook.
Doggy.
I'll tell you what, when you've got three guys at the front of the boat all competing for that same fish, there's some funny things that can happen. But what we do have to watch is our cameraman never takes the blame, but I remember a particular time fishing again in the French River where somebody was walking around on the front of the boat and I actually heard a little crunch just to find out Ron hooked that big fish. And you know what happens when you stop on a rod? It's gonna break.
Oh my God, he's a cow, bud.
I know. Look at my rod broke in 3 places.
He's a cow, bud. Look at.
Oh my God.
You got him? No. Oh. He was a cow.
Dude, he should have waited.
Every once in a while, something tragic happens.
Are you kidding me? Look at this.
Somebody breaks a rod, scares away a blue heron.
What was that? I remember a trip. We went to Manitoba and we worked our butt off and it was kind of tough fishing. And then all of a sudden Leo hooked into this giant and he actually thought it was a log. Then all of a sudden the log moved. This fish was absolutely huge. It's the biggest pike I've ever seen in my life. You've got to see this fish.
Got him, need him. This is a big fish, guys.
Rock.
It's not a rock, it's a big fish.
It is a big fish.
This is a big fish, buddy. But I can't, look at my rod.
It's a giant. It's a giant. I've never seen a pike this big in my life.
Look at it.
Look at the size of this thing. It's a giant. It is a giant.
Oh.
Come on, baby.
Get those jaws ready, buddy. Get the jaws ready.
Head on that thing. Are you kidding me?
You got it, buddy.
Buddy, you have no idea. I can't. We're gonna hold it up with the bogus too. Look at this. Look at that. Are you kidding me or what?
Look at the girl.
Look at the size of this. Whew. Well, that's over 20 pounds.
It's the biggest pike I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. Wait up. Oh yeah! Yeah!
That's one thing about Fish TV. We always want to make sure that our viewers get immersed in the action, even if the camera gets a little wet.
You know, some of the places we've been to, like the Bahamas, we've been all over, and I'll never forget the one time we went to Stewart's Cove, and they have a dive there that you actually dive with sharks.
Ron lasted about 2 minutes and said, nope, I breathe above the water, not below the water.
The biggest guy in the crew, that's 300 pounds plus is not diving with sharks, because I would be the first one to get bit.
And it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever seen.
The sharks are gonna come right around us.
They're going to be swimming right over you, along to the side of you.
That's
right
enough
in
for
front of
me.
you.
See you later, folks. You ever seen a fat guy in a wetsuit?
Those were some great highlights of the early years of Fish TV, but I can't wait for next week when I'm actually old enough myself to join the show. On behalf of myself, Jeff Chisholm, Leo Stackos, and Ron James, we'll see you next week on Fish TV.
Fish TV was brought to you by Lund, the ultimate fishing experience. Your Ontario Toyota dealers. Real people, great cars. And Toyota Genuine Parts. Bring your Toyota home.